Hey, what's up, ghouls and gals? This month we are doing romantic horror movie week on this channel, and that is because Valentine's Day is this Friday as I am filming. So to get in the spirit of Valentine's Day, or perhaps anti-Valentine's Day, or even perhaps Galentine's Day, we are doing two movie reviews this week. Today, I'll be talking about Spring from 2014, and on Friday, we'll be talking about House of Darkness from 2022. So if you enjoy, please go ahead and give this video a thumbs up, subscribe for more. Check out all of my links down below if you would like to see any more of me or support the channel any further. Let's dive right into this today because we have a lot to cover. I would like to quickly pause to let you know this video is brought to you by my patrons. You can watch this movie in full over on my $2 tier to support the channel and keep these videos going. I would not be able to do this kind of content if it wasn't for my patrons. So if you'd like to support me in any way, shape, or form and watch a few movies every month, you can go check out my Patreon, link down below. Anyways, back to it. So like I mentioned, we are talking about Spring from 2014, directed by Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead, two of my favorite directors. This has a runtime of 1 hour and 49 minutes and was released on September 5th, 2014. One thing I personally love about this film is that it does not beat you over the head with, like, it's Lovecraft without being Lovecraft, if you know what I mean. A young man in a personal tailspin flees the US to Italy, where he sparks up a romance with a woman harboring a dark primordial secret. And I feel like that tagline alone kind of leads you into a Lovecraftian story, but this does not have a Lovecraft origin per se, but we will get more into that, I promise. This film really does capture the beautiful balance between cosmic horror and exploring other themes like love, identity, emotional intimacy, and even morality. And another thing that I really do like about this film is that Benson and Moorhead aimed for more of an emotional, slow burn almost, without relying on any kind of jump scares. So when you do see something that is of impact, it is impactful and it's not something you just kind of glaze over. We follow Evan, played by Lou Taylor Pucci, who stars in the music video for Jesus of Suburbia. So when I saw this film, he's also in Evil Dead 2013. So when I saw this film, I was like immediately like, this guy, we're in good hands. Anyways, after the death of his mother and a violent incident at a bar, he decides to impulsively leave California and travel to Italy. There he meets Louise, a mysterious gal living in a seaside town. Things begin to progress between them. However, Louise is hiding a huge secret. She's an ancient being who undergoes grotesque, body-altering transformations, driven by biology and not by magic. Every 20 years, Louise's body resets as a part of a complex evolutionary process, allowing her to live indefinitely by avoiding emotional attachments. As Evan discovers the terrifying transformations, including but not limited to sprouting appendages and tentacles, she reveals the scientific basis for her condition. She is a highly evolved form of biology that predates humanity. Despite the horrors of her reality, and it is horrific, Evan refuses to leave Louise. He offers her unconditional love, something she may not have ever experienced in any form. Louise must choose whether to let herself transform and continue eternal existence, or embrace morality by falling in love with Evan. The more ambiguous ending leaves viewers questioning the nature of Louise's condition and whether love can truly conquer her biological fate. A seriously beautiful and thought-provoking film with some superbly grotesque scenes. This was actually shot in Italy, and some of the more beautiful landscapes juxtaposed with the body horror, it just makes for an incredible watch. Benson and Moorhead relied on practical effects and like normal lighting, not like a studio lighting. They wanted natural, more effective lighting. And I love that they're a more hands-on directing duo, and they want to be as much involved in the project as humanly possible. And one of their phrases that has always stuck with me is "make movies with your friends." I've always just felt so inspired by that and by them. A lot of the dialogue between Evan and Louise is unscripted and is just kind of more of a natural conversation between the two, and that was to just kind of create a genuine chemistry, and I love that. This is actually often said to have the feel of Richard Linklater's Before Sunset trilogy, but with a more monstrous twist, obviously. And Guillermo del Toro called this one of his favorite horror movies, and he called it Lovecraft meets Linklater. This film really helped Benson and Moorhead cement their place in the indie horror genre. They claim they wrote the film as a counterpart to Anne Rice's Vampire Chronicles, but this time the creature actually enjoys its strange condition. The film is used as a metaphor for accepting your partner's flaws literally and figuratively, and even makes you think about unconditional love and how having that kind of security can help one open up and show the true self. A shining example of how Benson and Moorhead explore themes of human connection along with cosmic horror throughout their filmography, even going back to things like The Endless and Resolution. As I mentioned, Evan is a young American grappling with grief and the loss of his mother after a violent incident at a bar, and he impulsively travels to Italy where he's hoping to have a fresh start. Even though his life back home left him emotionally guarded and emotionless, he is kind-hearted and optimistic for a new start. In Italy, he meets Louise, and from then we follow his character's transformation from a man running from his problems to a man willing to face the unknown and embrace love. Evan stays curious and compassionate even after learning about her supernatural nature, and this demonstrates his growth into a more fearless and devoted person. His journey teaches us to accept life's unpredictability, while also giving us the hope to invest in a future that, for ourselves, grounded in love and trust. All right, let's talk about Louise and the Lovecraftian nature of her character. Louise's affliction is rooted in biology, like I mentioned, instead of pure fantasy, allowing us to live in the world of sci-fi horror rather than any supernatural tropes, which I really appreciate. Her condition taps into ideas of evolution and biological horror as well, which is in the same vein of Lovecraft's fascination with ancient beings and existential dread. Louise states that she re-evolves into a different creature every spring, hence the title. Every spring equinox, I should say, in order to retain her immortality, and does so by getting pregnant. This is super fitting because spring is a symbol for rebirth or cleansing, and this is a metaphor for Louise's every 20-year metamorphosis. Before I dive any deeper, I would like to mention that Nadia Hilker, the woman who plays Louise, had no prior experience in horror in that genre whatsoever, and she was cast based on her ability to create warmth despite the monstrous nature of her character. Lovecraft's hallmark was exploring the terror of things beyond human comprehension and forces and beings that challenge our understanding of reality. Louise describes her affliction scientifically, but also acknowledges that it's ancient and mysterious. Lovecraft did often depict creatures going through grotesque and often horrifying transformations, a lot of the times due to ancient forces. And Louise's periodic transformations with tentacles and scales really do mirror the body horror trope, as well as the cosmic horror trope, because we really don't know what's out there or in the water. Louise's tentacles are a clear nod to Lovecraftian imagery. The serene yet isolating Italian seaside town echoes the coastal settings in Lovecraft's stories, and like his narratives, Spring uses body horror as a revelation for the hidden truths about the universe and biology. Louise's potential decision to become fully mortal for love is a sharp contrast with Lovecraft's usual protagonists, who often do succumb to despair when faced with cosmic truths. While this is not a direct Lovecraft adaptation, like I've mentioned, like I said, it's Lovecraft without beating you over the head with Lovecraft. It really does have his spirit through ancient knowledge, transformation, and the horror of human existence, but with a more emotional and redemptive approach. So if you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and give this a thumbs up. Let me know if you've seen this movie. If you haven't, go ahead and check out my Patreon. This is on the $2 tier. I do have to say a big thank you once again to my patrons. I wouldn't be able to do this kind of content if it wasn't for you guys. So on that note, I will see you Friday for a review of House of Darkness from 2022, a film that I put off. I put it on my skip list in like 2022, and I'm upset that I did, and I'm upset that I waited so long to watch it because I did really enjoy it. So on that note, I will see you then. Sayonara, Spooky.